Hello YouTube, I want to welcome you to the third video. Can't believe it already. It's the third video with the Faith-Based Workplace YouTube channel. For everyone, first time visit, welcome. For everyone that's coming back to see another video, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about micromanagers. And I know some of you probably have dealt with micromanagers and you're like, Solomon, how does micromanagers come into play with narcissists? Well, micromanager to me is one of the traits that narcissists sometimes have. I mean, they like to be in charge of everything. They like to have their hands in everything. They like to be in everybody's business. It's a lot of likes, as you can see. They like to do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, the micromanager main job when they go to work is to be in everybody's business and tell everybody what to do from the start at 8 a.m. or you go to work at 7 a.m. to the end. I mean, whenever time you get off. And then even after you get off. I've mentioned this in one of the previous videos. They'll actually come out and on the weekends or when you get off work, you get off 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, these people are calling you and emailing you about things that should have been handled at work. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about dealing with a micromanager, and we're also going to come up with a few steps that you can take to actually deal with the micromanager. That way you can beat them to the punch, so to speak. Once again, I ask that you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be posting every Wednesday. So when you subscribe, you'll get alerted as soon as I drop these videos. So let's get into it with this video. First, have you ever dealt with a micromanager? That's the main thing. And what is a micromanager? Because I just briefly discussed it. But the thing is, have you ever dealt with one? If you haven't dealt with one, hey, more power to you. God bless you. If you have dealt with one, this video is for you. It's going to relate to a lot of things that you've dealt with a micromanager. Yes, I've dealt with a micromanager a few times. And again, I don't say names on this channel unless I mention my wife or something, but I don't say names on this channel. But yes, I have dealt with a micromanager, and I'll tell you a story about the micromanager that I dealt with. Basically, they wanted to know, things that was going on almost in my personal life. I'm not one to really share my personal life, especially not with a manager, and especially someone that I'm really not cool with, new to the team. I don't know you like that, so why would I share that personal information with you? But as a micromanager or a narcissist like to do, still want to dig and pry and try to figure out, well, I'm going to get something out of Solomon somehow, some way. I know something's going on, so I'm going to talk to him. And it's almost like, whatever you do, whatever you say, whether your work is good or subpar or bad, it don't matter. You can be the best employee. They still want to be a micromanager. Even though you had your stuff together before they even showed up on the scene at the job, you already had, accolades and awards and things of that nature, and people was already giving you high praise. But for some reason, they think they can change you and make you even better. Now, don't get me wrong. Good leaders will try to produce better leaders under them. I admit that. I agree with that. Hey, I'm not going to go away from that. So I do agree with that. But when you're a new leader at a new place, your job shouldn't be to come in and let me just change everything that's going on with the company. To me, you go sit back and observe a little bit. Now, if it's something life or death, yeah, you're going to change that immediately. But if it's not, you should be looking at, hey, I need to sit back. Let me see what the guys that's under me, females, when I say guys, men and women, let me see how they work, what they have good, the pros and cons, good and bad of the situation. Then I can implement, okay, look guys, we need to come in and maybe do a few changes to help the team run better. You want it to run like a well-oiled machine, no matter what team setting you in or whatever it is, whether it's safety, when there's a welder, you work with a team, whether it's in the oil field, working at different companies, whether it's frac sites, whatever you're doing. I know a lot of guys, they work, offshore, onshore, land-based, you working at a casino, whatever it is. I'm not going to name every job in the world. Obviously, we'll be here all day trying to name them. But what I'm saying is you work in a team environment and you're a manager or a leader of that group. Your first thing shouldn't be to let me come in here and let me micromanage these people. If these people are already running and they hired to do a job, I mentioned this before in the video, if they are hired to do a job, let them do their job. You shouldn't have to wonder what time they go on a lunch, or did they take a 30-minute lunch or an hour lunch, or now if the rule is 30 minutes, yeah, they should be taking a 30-minute lunch. But if the rule is an hour, I don't need you calling me 45 minutes into my lunch, hey, where you at? No, I have an hour. Or 30 minutes into my lunch, hey, where you at? No, it shouldn't be that. So, things like that. We're doing these micromanagers and they want to know what you're doing from start to finish at work. When you get off on the weekend, you got to set boundaries. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Setting boundaries, even at work. We set boundaries at home with our kids, with our spouse, with in-laws, with parents. Why wouldn't you do it at work? Think about it. Yeah, we say we're a family at work at some places, not all places, but some places we say we're a family. Well, if that's the case and we're a family, you need to set up these boundaries just like you do with your own family. So if my time to work is 8 to 5, I don't need you emailing me at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, unless it's something like hot off the press, this is important. Let's say it's a safety issue and we need to get this done now. I understand. But if it's something that I can probably do tomorrow, don't email me at 10 o'clock. Email me, and you could do some of these emails when you do it to where, hey, 6, 7 a.m., the email post. It's something you're going to forget. You can do that like that. You can schedule that email out. That way, I'll see the email when I wake up in the morning. Don't email me at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it's not professional, and it's just not right. That's part of the micromanager. So, moving right along, I'm going to read I like to try to bring in Bible verses to try to relate to some of these things. So I'm going to bring in a Bible verse, two verses. Matthew 5, verse 43 and 44. And I'll read this right quick. Ye have heard that it had been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. That's verse 43. So let's go right into verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you. Just think about that. Do good to them that hate you. That's another good part of this verse. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. So back to the micromanager. These people do try to use you, do try to take advantage of you, and want to be all in your business. But you want to, even at work, just like I said, you pray for your family, pray for your leaders, your supervisors, your managers, your vice president, presidents. We're not leaving anybody off the table. When I started this faith-based workplace business idea, I wanted to start it from, the corporate America. But I wasn't leaving out anybody. It could be an admin, secretary, the mail person, the head supervisor, the president of the company, CEO, COO, whatever title you want to go up and down that company. We're talking about these people because any one of them can be a narcissist. Any one of them from top to bottom, left to right. You get what I'm saying. So we want to cover faith-based workplaces about bringing to light these different settings and these different dealings and things of that nature, and making sure that we're all on the same page with that. So I had to focus my light a little bit. I didn't realize I didn't have my light on. Now you probably can see me better. My bad. Hey, I'm looking at the thing and didn't have the light on. Hey, lesson learned. It's my ring light that I have on. I'll, let y'all know about that. But yeah, so, dealing with that, we have to make sure that from anybody could be a narcissist at your place of employment. So let's realize that. So with this verse, you gotta pray for these people. When they do you wrong, don't be so quick to anger and go to. Now I'm not saying, I didn't told you before, document, and do some more documenting. Write this stuff down. Everybody have a cell phone now. You need to record it. Maybe they're getting into it with another employee. You might want to record that, because when they come a time when they get into it with you, you can bring up the fact that, hey, this manager already got into it with this employee. Whatever it may be, whether it's an argument, hopefully it's not physical, whatever the case may be, you want to document. So when these micromanagers, trust me, they're documenting. So when they can, use something against you and say, hey, Solomon back in January 2018, we're in 2020, yes we are, but just going back, they have something documented that you won't even remember. But guess what? If you're documenting everything they say, you can rebuttal some of these things and say, hey, that's not how it happened. That's not how I remember. That's not how it happened. So that's kind of what I want y'all to get in the mindset that, hey, I need to document, especially when I realize the signs and traits of a narcissist or a micromanager, like we're talking about dealing with a micromanager. You need to know that, hey, I need to document because they're documenting and they're going to try to use some of this stuff against me. They're there to, like my wife say, they're there to waste your time, steal time. Your time is not your time. You're on their time, which is horrible because usually these people don't have a life. When they do have a life, their marriage probably in shambles, things of that nature is usually what I found. Now, this is what I found. I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist. What I'm telling you is what I found in my dealings is if they are married, they always out of the house doing something. And usually they're not married because they're single and they have nothing to do. They don't have a life. You ever heard the saying, hey, you need to get yourself a life? Well, that's what the micromanager needs to do. They need to get themselves a life because they don't have one. Okay. So moving right along, something me and my wife discussed. Sometimes you can't fight fire with fire. So you can't beat these micromanagers and these narcissists and these Ahab and Jezebel spirits, which we'll be talking about Ahab and Jezebel spirits come up in the next few weeks. We're going to bring that to light and how it plays in the workplace. But getting back to this subject, dealing with a micromanager, you cannot fight these people sometime fire with fire. Because what they're going to do, they're going to kill you with the ink pen, meaning they're going to do the write-ups. They're going to do the, not just the write-ups on you. They're going to, when I say write-ups, I mean email or written down or verbal write-ups, however they want. Different companies do it differently. They want to do a verbal write-up, but guess what? It's still written down on paper, so it's really not a write-up. It's not a verbal, you know what I'm saying? It's still a write-up. Anyway, that's another subject for HR, human resources. That's not my lane. But they'll do these write-ups and things. So they're going to kill you with the pen. And most companies, you get written up, 3 times? It might be like a 2-3 day suspension. So now they got this going against you. So when they hit you with this third write-up, now they can suspend you. So you have to watch what you're doing. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. That's why I say, I can keep saying it in every video. I'm going to try to remember, document, document, document. You want to have this stuff documented, what they have been doing to you so far as micromanaging or treating you badly. Hopefully there's no physical abuse going on at work, but hey, it does happen. I've heard stories. It does happen. But usually it's probably mental, most likely, and probably a little bit spiritual. So you just need to pay attention to these things and realize that, hey, I'm dealing with something that I haven't dealt with before. And even if you have dealt with it before, you want to be in front of this. You don't want to be behind it. You want to be in front of it. So being in front of it is documenting. So let's make sure that we're doing that. And I saying that I always say, there's no whooping like a godly whooping. So sometimes only thing you can do is give it to God. Cast your worries and your concerns to God and let him deal with them. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing you probably can do. You can't just go fight him. You're going to get fired, might get arrested. We don't want that. But we do want to document this stuff. And we do want to pray to God and say, hey, I wash my hands of it. I can't do it anymore. This micromanager or this supervisor or whoever, we saying manager, but remember, we talking about president, vice president, CEO, whatever the case is. I don't care what they title is. If they're above you and they're in charge of you, that's what I'm saying. You need to make sure you take care of yourself. Cover your own butt. Okay? So moving right along. This video, I'm trying to make it a little bit quicker. I see we already, once you start talking and getting into this stuff, I love it. I love talking about it. I love exposing the stuff. Matter of fact, on LinkedIn today, I did a post about Narcissist and, got a lot of good feedback. You always got that one. That wants to tell you your story better than you can. You ever had a person like that know your story better than you? And they're not psychic? Not a prophet? But anyway, we'll actually probably talk about that. People that know your story better than you. I think that's a good topic to come up with. And that's usually a narcissist, because the guy admitted he was a narcissist. Yes, he did. He said he was a narcissist. Hey, I'm just telling you what I know. You can go check the LinkedIn post and hey, you'll see what I'm talking about. The guy admitted he was a narcissist. I didn't go back and forth. I'm just stating my opinion and, in my dealings with them. That's my story. You can't tell me my story better than me or anybody else's story that's on these platforms, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever the case is. If they say that that's what they dealt with, you can't argue with that at the end of the day. Okay, moving right along. Micromanagers really aren't the best people to work for. They really aren't. When you look at a manager, you want somebody that's a leader, that's going to bring you up, hold you accountable. You want somebody that's going to hold you accountable, but they're going to elevate you as a person and as a human being, and don't just look at you as just another employee like a number. Some company, you ain't number the number. Your number is 185370. What the heck does that mean? My name is Solomon Savoy Jr. I'm not this number that you go by. So, now don't get me wrong, companies got 40, 50,000 people. I know they give you an employee ID. I understand that. But when they don't know you personally, some of these people, now it might not be the president, but I'm talking about at least the people in your office building. They don't know you personally. You got a bigger issue than what we even talking about with the micromanager. But the micromanager, hey, once again, set boundaries, document. You see how I keep saying document? You might want to remember that. Document. It's good to walk around. People in the all field going to recognize this. Walk around with a tally book. All it is a little notebook. In the military, we used to have a little green books. I have one somewhere around here, but it's a little green book. You write down everything in there. You document. Now we have cell phones. Use your notes. I got a Samsung Galaxy. Use your notes on your phone, on your iPhone, and type them notes in. And then write it down later. Okay, let's keep moving. Like I said, a micromanager is a narcissist as well. I mean, it's one of the traits. It's one of the traits. They just want to be in charge and be your mom, dad, whatever they want to do, but they want to micromanage you on every level. And it can get bad. I've heard stories and I've seen it firsthand. It can get really, really bad where they're in your business. Even when you had some people, they passive aggressive and they don't want to deal with things. I try to deal with more, most things head on. So you want to be able to deal with these things and be like, hey, let me get right to look, we're not doing this. Let's set that boundary, set this wall up, boundary, whatever the case is. We're not doing this. This is what we're going to do moving forward. You say it in a nice, ugly way. You appreciate, them being your supervisor. But if they being that micromanager, you're going to have to cut that off, because the longer and longer you let it go, you give them a string, a little bit of string, they're going to take a mile with that. So I know you heard that saying before. So just cut that off at the head. So moving right along, let's get into the 5 tips. 5 tips for dealing with a micromanager. Number 1, ways you can help yourself and help them. I'm not saying it's always going to work, but it's something to start with and try it. Be proactive. If you already know this is what they're looking for, before they come into you and saying, hey, Solomon, I need this, and other, I already got it done. Or you already emailed them. That keeps them, hey, maybe they stay in their office because you're already hitting them with emails and whatever, that you learn the way they are as a micromanager, you send them all this stuff firsthand. Be proactive. Beat them to the punch. Don't wait for them to tell you what to do. Same thing we tell kids at home. If you got chores to do, go ahead, clean up the stuff before I have to tell you. It's no need in me telling you. You already know what you got to do. Just go ahead and do it. So same thing at work. If I know I have this report due the 15th of every month, why would I wait until the 15th? Then I have this micromanager on my butt. Guess what? I can email it out on the 13th, maybe the 12th. Make sure it's all correct. 12th, 13th, I'm already done. The report is submitted. Or maybe every Friday, you're in charge of the meeting. So don't be the last one in the meeting. Be the first one in there set up, ready to go. That way the manager ain't on your butt. So just be proactive. Next, number 2, analyze yourself. So, especially if your boss is a micromanager, you want to make sure you're doing everything that you need to do as the employee. So, like I said, analyze what you're doing. Make sure you're doing right. Everything's on the up and up. And once you analyze yourself, then you move forward and knowing that, hey, I'm doing everything 100%, everything that I need to do. Number 3, try and build trust. Now, it's going to be hard, but at least give it a try. Try to build up trust between you and that micromanager. Again, supervisor, whatever their title is, vice president, president, I don't need to name them, but try to build up that trust and see if, you can at least get on the same, might not be on the same page, you can get close. That might help out if you can build up trust. I mean, just think about it. You know, if you got that trust, maybe they'll trust you a little bit more. And maybe they're not as bad as a micromanager. Maybe they're just borderline and they new to the job. And they're not really that bad, but maybe you build up that trust and they already know, oh, well, Solomon's going to get it done, so I don't have to worry about that. Boom, there you go. So, number 4, I mentioned this already. Set up boundaries up front. As soon as you meet this man, whether they're micromanager or not, go ahead, set your boundaries up. Kind of things, you know, your guidelines, kind of the way you do things, the way you work. That way they get to know you as a person. So you set them boundaries. They gonna have boundaries too. They tell you, hey, what I expect from you doing this job. So at the same time, you need to tell them, this is what I expect you as being my manager. This is what I expect from you. So it should be a two-way street. It shouldn't just be what they expect from us and they just get away scot-free. No, I expect some things from you. I expect you to honor this time. On the weekend, I got weekends off. Don't call me at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm off. Or if I'm on vacation, which I mentioned this in the video before too. If I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. So leave it at that. It shouldn't be getting no calls. I just went on vacation Monday. Tuesday, I'm getting a call. Hey, we got a problem. Nobody else can do it. Oh, somebody else is going to do it because Solomon is on vacation. I might be in Hawaii, Tahiti. I ain't taking no long distance phone call if I'm in Tahiti or Brazil with my wife or whatever. No, not going to happen. Matter of fact, the phone will be off because I'm not getting them doggone AT&T charges. Shout out to AT&T. But anyway, just remember that. Hey, you on vacation, you on vacation. Like I said before, you are there to vacate the job, get away from the job, and spend time with your family. Or spend time by yourself. You need a break. We all need breaks. People say they work 365. Hey, more power to you. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take these breaks, whether it's the weekend or a holiday or whatever it is, that day I can get away from work, I'm going to do it. Okay, last one. And I just said this, but another tip number 5, don't ever try and fight back. Again, I'm bringing that back around. Don't try and fight back. You gotta realize micromanagers, they probably dealing with issues also. Remember, they narcissists. They have their own hidden issues. It might be child related. It might be molestation, abuse. It might be physical, spiritual, mental. It's a bunch of different things going on. We're not going to even dig into that yet. That's for future videos. But right now, just dealing with that micromanager, if you deal with these micromanagers and you practice these 5 tips, I'm sure you'll have a better day, maybe a better week, and I pray you have a better year dealing with these people. You just be proactive. Start there and start a baseline and set up them boundaries. You know, once again, this has been another video with Faith-Based Workplace YouTube channel. If you like this video, hit the like button, and also you can hit the subscribe button to be the first one to get the content when I upload it. So once again, I appreciate your time. If you watch the video all the way through the end, I appreciate it. I thank y'all for the support that I'm getting on LinkedIn. And like I said, you can find me on Faith-Based Workplace, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on YouTube, all the social media. I have Faith-Based Workplace. So you want to go on any one of those, Instagram and all that, I'm on there, and we starting to post. And Instagram, I actually about to, do some things on there. But yeah. So like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll be able to keep uploading this content weekly, and I upload every Wednesday. Again, dealing with a micromanager is tough, but it can be done. It's like any other job. It's like a job. Now, don't take too much stuff off of them, but do what you got to do. So once again, this is Faith-Based Workplace YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week. Be blessed.